Hello, my name is Lauren Sandler and I am the Learning Specialist at the UF Teaching Center. In this video session, we'll be discussing stress management techniques. So let's start out by talking about some of the basic principles of stress management. The first is organization. Disorder can actually create or enhance stress if your life is not organized. So take the time to create checklists and an organizational pattern that works for you so that you don't forget anything that you have to keep track of. Use your time management techniques to be sure that you have enough time to accomplish everything on these lists. For more information on time management, you can actually visit our video resource page and check out our time management video. And next we have focus. It's crucial that you focus in order to reduce your stress so that you can get everything done that you need to. By using the distributed practice effect, you'll break up your studying into small distributed sessions so that you can make sure that you cover all of the material rather than cramming for it at the very end. Because when you leave everything for the last minute, it can be very overwhelming and actually enhance your stress. So we're going to try to divide everything up and we'll conquer it, and we'll talk about that next. But before we go into dividing and conquering, it's important to prioritize your material as well. So try to do the worst of it first. Get the hard stuff done so that way you'll have more motivation to get the easy stuff done later. It's easy to check off the fun stuff off your to-do list, so get the hard stuff done first and you'll be more motivated to get the rest done. So now dividing and conquering is a great way for you to make sure that you get everything done in a slow pace so that way you don't become overwhelmed by everything you have to do all at once. So what do we do when we want to divide up our papers? You can start off by brainstorming topics and ideas and to create an outline before you actually sit down to get writing. Once you do that, you can divide your paper up into manageable sections. You can have the introduction, then the first argument, then the second argument, and so on. And because you have an outline, you already know what you're going to be writing in each one of these paragraphs. And then once you're finished drafting, you can take a step away, refresh your mind for a day or two, and then come back to it to revise it and polish it before you're finished. What about when you have a lot of material to read? Your professor may just assign you a textbook or a novel to read by the end of the week. How are you going to accomplish this? Maybe you'll read one chapter a day or X amount of number pages per day. And if it's a textbook chapter and you have to read sections of it, maybe you can divide the sections into one section per day. Whatever works best for you, just divide it up and make sure that you're not cramming all for the last minute. And then of course we have our exams. How do we break up our exams to be more manageable? Well, take all of the material that you need to study and make very specific study plans about a week in advance. So for example, on Monday you'll study Chapter 1, on Tuesday you'll study Chapter 2, and make sure you include everything in there, such as your notes, your PowerPoint slides, your textbook assignments, your additional reading assignments, and make sure you cover everything as you go along, so that way you don't miss anything. Additionally, there's the 40-20-40 plan for success. People say that if you spend 40% of your time in the preparation stages, 20% of the time in the actual event, and then 40% of your time in your post-event, you'll have a lot of success in your life. So 40% of success is attributed to the preparation, 20% to the actual event, and 40% to the post-event. So when you're finished with your exam, your work is actually not over just yet. Make sure you go back and review the exam, see what you got wrong, and analyze how you can do better. Once you do that, you're set on the road for success. And a lot of times you might find that you need a little bit of help, and that's okay. But ask for help earlier rather than later. If you catch a problem and respond to it early, you might be able to rectify it before you have to drop the class. And also review once a week to make sure that you're keeping up with the classes and you don't have to cram. And by reviewing weekly, you'll be able to spot these areas of weakness to improve upon earlier so that way you don't find out the night before the exam. And then also use the quizzes and the questions at the end of the chapter to evaluate whether you understand what you just read. It can also help you figure out if you can actually recall the information for when it does come time for the exam. Another way to manage your stress more effectively is to use your time efficiently. And by doing so, you want to make sure that you have goals that you keep in mind as you're working through the semester. One great way to make a goal is a SMART goal, something that's specific. Ask yourself what, why, and how this goal is going to help you in the long run. Make sure that it's measurable. How will you know when this goal has been achieved? Make sure that it's attainable. Is it physically possible to achieve this goal? And also realistic. You want to push yourself, but you don't want to break. And then also make sure you put a time limit on your goal. Is it going to be accomplished by the end of this week, by the end of the month, or by the end of the semester? So let's try an example. How about I want to pass my class? That is a great goal to have, but let's try to make it more specific. I'm going to pass my economics exam, measurable, with an A, and then is this attainable? You have to think to yourself, how much of my grade is outstanding? Do I have enough points left in the semester to actually achieve this A? And then if I do, is it actually realistic that I will get 100% on my last exam to bring myself up to an A? Will I lose some of the grade points in my other classes? Will I lose ground in those classes while I'm studying for this A? You have to make sure that your goal is realistic as well. And then is there enough time left in the semester? Do you have one night left to study for this exam that you just realized you need 100% on to get an A? Take all of these different factors into account when you are creating these goals. And if you want more information on goal setting, check out our video resources page. And there are some things that you should look out for when you're trying to manage your stress, such as procrastination. By prioritizing and keeping organized, you're less likely to procrastinate. And it's one of those big academic career killers, so try to divide your information up into small manageable bits and you might find that you're doing a lot better in your classes. Also expect to see some lost inspiration. When you start at the beginning of the semester, a lot of times we have a lot of excitement at all the new possibilities of the class. You think you're going to do really well this semester, but a lot of times there's a natural letdown about a month into the semester. So be prepared for that and know that it's just a passing phase and you can get motivated again. Also be aware of the New Year's resolution syndrome. A lot of times we're all guilty of it. At the beginning of a new era or a new year or a new semester, we create these really high expectations and really high goals for ourselves. So be prepared that if your goal is overly ambitious, you might not be able to achieve it, and be okay with that and just readjust your goals. And then check out our goal setting video on the video resources page. Next, there are some stress management tips from the Counseling and Wellness Center here at UF. Understand your role in stress reactions. How do you react when something doesn't go according to plan or when you feel overwhelmed? By being aware of this, you're better able to mediate it and come to a normal level of functioning. We also have develop a balanced lifestyle and an effective personal organization system. So get a planner or a calendar, something that'll help you keep on top of all the material that you need to know. Learn specific relaxation techniques. If you find that you're getting really anxious before an exam, go ahead and learn some deep breathing techniques to help you relax so that you can actually do well and not focus on your anxiety. And try to gain some perspective on the problems by talking to them with others. Talk to your professor about the issues that you're having, or your friends. See if you're not alone, or if your professors and TAs have extra information that they can help you with. And then also, clarify your values and develop a sense of spirituality. See if you can find some inner peace and calm when all of this is going on around you, and try to see if you can stay calm in the face of adversity. And then last, make sure that you make time for the activities you enjoy most. You'll end up resenting studying if you're giving up all the things that you love. So manage your time wisely and make some time for your favorite TV shows, a nice bike ride, some exercise classes, or your artwork. Whatever it is that helps you stay relaxed, make sure that you're still doing it. For more information from the UF Teaching Center, please visit our website. We have additional resources such as individual study skills appointments. We have a lot of video resources on a variety of topics, and we have walk-in and private tutoring for your course-specific questions. We look forward to seeing you soon, and good luck.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Resource Center.